to say some things now that may tip you off. What's that? Okay. Where's my line? All right. I'm gonna say some things that may tip you off. This tool is greater than this tool. Okay. It has an advantage of time. It has an advantage of leverage. It has an advantage of distance. And it has every advantage. That's pretty. However, that tool is the weak tool. That is my hole to fire on guard. If I'm fighting sword and dagger, I refuse my dagger and leave my sword point as far away as possible, gaining as much tempo as possible. Now, the charger, he wants to hit my sword. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They think that dagger's their ticket. They think it's their milk, and it's the worst thing they can use. I can evade that weapon all day, because I have an advantage of time, right? He's going to reach up and grab it. He's going to reach up and outside. No, it's not going to happen. This shot, he comes in, boom, right here, evading underneath the arm, is very, very useful. Okay? What happens? We talked about this.
I wanted to say that. So when you're fighting someone with a dagger, and that you take this first step and you want to get square, that shot usually isn't right here. It's always right over here. Because they've reached out.
Always reached out. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about using the science we learned.
Speak up a little bit more.
Sure.
So we get more noise.
Let's talk about using the science that we learned earlier against this, right? I have an advantage of tempo, right? Which means if he uses that dagger, I'm in a superior position already. When he reaches to get my sword, he puts his body in harm's way, right? When they put their body in harm's way, they can be struck. He has taken a big tempo in measure, and I can hit him on that time. Nobody rolls initiative in the SCF. So, he reaches up to get my dagger, boom, and he's done. Because he put his body into harm's way when I had a clear advantage of measure. My point is on him. If he wants to reach his body in there, all day. No problem. Happy minute. If he uses his sword, yeah, this to this. Oh, that's my next favorite. Here's the transfer, okay? Same principles apply. He takes his dagger. Oh, he got me. Now his sword. You see? And I was actually kind of foolish. But what I'm saying is that he goes here, now the transfer from dagger to sword. There's the sword. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. That was awesome. All you have to do is keep a calm mind. You don't have to run away from them all the time. Just gain the measure you need and kill them. Gain the time you need and kill them.
I don't understand what you're doing in my head. In my head, I want to do this, I'm going to catch this. Yeah, I got close. I'm thinking this. Remember, this is what I'm thinking. I'll hold this on here. I'm thinking of this. If you do steps, my tip went beyond your head. I can't get it. I couldn't get it.
In fact, he does something so incredibly foolish. He puts his point past him. Right? He puts his point past him. Some of them, the smart ones, the really good ones, they'll be on guard in a runner's pose right off the bat. And all they're doing is looking for this, and then this, and stab it down. Does that make sense? They want that. All you have to do, go ahead and do that. All you have to do is gain the measure. Dead. Does that make sense? All I did was pull my hips back. It looks kind of weird, but it works. Alright? All I did was pull my hips back, and suddenly, yeah, nothing. Boom. Didn't even get it. Anyone can do that. Any one of you can do that. So, how do I'm not going to charge. Okay, now we've given up charging. It's done. We're done with it. We're not doing it anymore. How do I fight? Remember we were talking about this tonight? I'm going to teach you some basic principles of attack and defense. This drives me nuts. You do. It drives me nuts. This drives me nuts. Yeah. This drives me crazy. I'm never living this dagger now. Alright. If you think that this is your best defensive tool, you have been misled. It isn't. Take this, pull it back here, and put this out in front of you. Okay? What has that done to my posture? Name some good things. Yes, it presents my profile. So he has less of a target to hit, doesn't he? If I'm here, he's got all this. If I'm here, he's got a much thinner target. I'm not very thin, but you get the point. Alright, here. Now, what else do you do? Upright, yes, it's more upright. It's good. He uses your Refuses my vitals. You understand what that means? My vital bits that can kill me when stabbed are far away from me. This is a very good thing because it increases the time it takes for him to kill me. I don't want to die, right? So when you start fencing, if you're going to deal with a charging guy like this, you're going to die. Okay? You will lose. Here. He will beat you aside, and you will not have the time you need. Step away from there. Step away from it. Okay? Keep that hilt out in front of you. This cone of defense increases as I reach it away from my body. Right? If it's tight, it does nothing for me, and I have to travel great distances to protect myself, which takes time. I'm slow, I can't do that. I'm out here, if he attacks me, on this line, just right. If he attacks me, it's but a small turn of my wrist, or a small movement to deal with it. Does that make sense? Here, and boom. It is a small movement, so it's a fast movement, right? Everybody get that? What time are we at?
6:30.
6:30. I'm here until 6:50. I have 20 minutes. Do we have any other questions so far? Let's see. Do you have? Yes.
You still have not answered.
Sure.
Which particular tactic?
If they reach out with that dagger, is angulate.
Yeah, try that.
Yeah. Sure. Could you do that?
Yeah, the problem is that other sword just sort of does this homing missile.
Get a dagger. All right. Okay. So what she uses, the reason she's really good at it, she uses contra tempo when she fights. She gets you into motion, and then she moves to a new line. You have to kill her first. Okay? You have to, when she comes in and reaches with that, you got to be ahead of it. She can't help but get hit. She will bring her body into that place.
Okay, I'll try it.
Yes. Now, she might get really fast, like with a counter parry, but it'll stop the charge. And if worst comes to worst, and she manages to go here and she picks it up, then I escape this way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Or I escape out to the side of her, here. I step west and make her change the line of her charge. Boom.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think that would probably be more successful.
Yes, it may. But it's the same principles.
Yeah.
It's the same principles. This will work. You just have to practice it. I don't have much more on this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have much more on this. Yeah.
Just because I played with this guy a lot, the idea of following the exact sense of order of the steps only works one time. So sometimes you want to hit them boom right away by stepping offside. Sometimes you want to follow all 3 steps in a row. It's just kind of good to change it up because they will figure it out. They will figure it out.
There's
in restraint, if you don't know what that word means or that's new to you, you should find someone to answer that for you. And all of that exists in speed of hand. All of that exists. You have either won that before you put your body into motion, or you're dead.
Okay, so let's talk about, I got a little bit more time. Specific footwork and specific things you can do. I don't want to throw moves with this. But if I'm stepping to my right, I want to pull my hips out, right? I showed you this before. Like, some people call this a volte. Okay? Some people, there's other words for it. I don't, what is it? Incartata? Incartata? Yeah. Going back this way? Yes.
Yeah.
So, the Italians who are cunning have this funny little thing called incartata. Yes, on that motion, all right, actually, when you're going to come straight at it. Straight at it. Here. So this is the incartata. Yes. All right? I agree. Nice catch. Nice catch. That's an incartata. Okay? Fire it underneath his arm, and it's less likely to carry. Boom. Okay? Now, see where the point goes? How far through? Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not that hard of a motion. It looks kind of pretty, but it's really, all you're doing is I'm taking my hips and just placing my leg behind it. Yes. All right? The Spanish did it, and the Italians did it. I have no idea which one. Both the Spanish and the Italians did that specific step. Off to the side is the Rossi sloped pace. He comes in, I take an angled pace. Toe point in that line. Yeah. Okay? Does everybody see that? That will taste tough. That will taste tough. Think about shooting your butt out. That's in your brain. You don't want to move your feet, you want to move your butt. Right? You really want your hips to throw, but it's really your... Sure. What you see. Go ahead. Same hip. Boom. Alright, there. Even if I miss, I am already en route to orbit him. So even if I go and he goes, and I miss, I'm already en route. As long as I watch that dagger, I can get away. Or hit him with mine on the way by. Does that make sense, everybody? You can practice those steps. And those are things you can drill. You can have somebody set up and throw a nice, deep, committed lunge, and all you have to do